Hello, welcome back to the Crazy Confidence Coach podcast. I'm Heather. Here, high-achieving women like you are breaking free from self-doubt, people-pleasing, and those tough life seasons that leave you questioning your worth. Today, we're diving into something that hits every single one of us. Why criticism hurts so much, especially for women, and how it chips away at our self-esteem. If you've ever replayed a harsh comment in your head for days, like turning it over in your head, you could have done better, or I'm not enough, this episode might just be your lifeline. Stick with me because by the end, you'll have 4 simple shifts to help you stop taking it personally and start turning criticism into fuel for your confidence. Let's reclaim your power today, right now. Have you ever felt held back by self-doubt, whether it's speaking up in a meeting or connecting with others or simply just believing in your own worth? Well, you're not alone. Welcome to the Crazy Confidence Coach podcast. I'm Heather Edwards, Master Certified Life Coach, and my goal is to empower you to step into your most authentic, confident self. Here, you're going to discover practical strategies and powerful insights to help you improve your communication, deepen those relationships, and elevate your self-esteem. And each week, I'm going to guide you through some actionable tips and mindset shifts that are specifically designed to help you break free from fear, show up boldly in every area of your life, and build crazy confidence. Are you ready to stop hiding in the shadows, playing small, and avoiding the spotlight? Grab your favorite pen and a notebook, and let's get to it. Ladies, why does criticism feel like a personal attack? Your brain is wired to treat criticism like a survival threat. It's not just words. It's rejection that triggers our deepest fears of not belonging. And belonging, in historical sense, meant that you survived. So research shows that women are socialized to seek approval and undervalue our wins. Think about it. How comfortable do you feel to share all your wins or to share all the good things about yourself? Or how comfortable are you talking about things that aren't your best side of you or the best things about you? I can remember when I was a little girl, I was told bragging was not very ladylike, and my bold and often loud voice and laughter was absolutely frowned upon. And even my questions, I would ask questions all the time, and I wore my parents out, and I can remember them making comments about, hey, can you just be quiet? I was just a little too much. I was conditioned to shrink who I really am in order to fit in and not stand out and not to bother other people. So I want you to think about it for yourself. Think about the last time a colleague or someone you love made an offhand remark, and that remark lingered because it brought up old insecurities from hard seasons like heartbreak or burnout, or even being a child and hearing what you were or weren't good at. What about the last time someone told you that you were doing something wrong or that they didn't want you to do? How did your mind react? We don't just hear that critique. We often let it rewrite our self-story. We shrink, we change our voice, we hold back, and we certainly don't lead boldly and audaciously. Or we jump back defensively and expose that critique gave us pressure and influenced our confidence and our self-esteem. How do women actually let this criticism steal our self-esteem? We over-personalize things, we replay conversations like a bad movie, and we make one little flaw become our whole identity. We think, I messed up once, so I'm a failure, of course. Or we turn it into people-pleasing, and we change who we are just so we can win approval. We sacrifice our truth about who we are, or we let critics control our confidence indirectly by simply just the way we think about ourselves. These patterns will just keep us stuck into really bad judgment situations on ourselves and avoiding risk, and they absolutely dim our light. I can't tell you how many times I have dimmed my own light, or I've seen other women dim their light. But here's the truth. Criticism is often more about someone else's, the person who's giving it to you, about their projections rather than your reality. So it's absolutely time to stop letting that define you. Here's the switch we need to make to mold criticism into building our confidence. We need to start looking at criticism as data, not destiny or identity. Shift your mindset to understanding criticism as a feedback and words that you can choose to use or toss or lose. So exactly how do I do that? How do I turn that criticism into a win or into something beneficial? Ready for the game changer? Here are 4 shifts that will help you transform that pain into power. So just practice them, and then you can just watch yourself. You'll watch yourself grow in your self-trust, and you will start to flourish in your confidence and in your self-esteem. Number 1, you're going to pause and separate fact from feeling. When you have somebody say something to you, take a breath. Then ask yourself, what was actually said versus what am I telling myself about what was said? This kind of depersonalizes it. It actually gives you time to spot if it's their bias or if it's a real nugget of wisdom. And you can also come from a gratitude first place here. So say thanks for the insight, and that will also buy you some time to process without defensiveness and also decide, is it really fact or is it just something I'm feeling? And what am I telling myself in response to it? Number 2, you're going to vet the source and the intent. Those are 2 separate things all in the same time, but not all critics are created equal, right? Is this person someone who is qualified? Are they being constructive? Or are they just venting? Or are they just hot-headed at the moment? Are they reacting to something? We don't want to assume negative intent all the time. You want to assume positive intent when it's possible, but really work on dismissing unhelpful noise. It's often somebody's insecurity talking or something about them that is talking rather than something that is true about you. Number 3, you're going to extract the lesson, but you're going to ditch the shame. Test drive the feedback. And what I mean by that is, what is one actionable step? Patterns and critiques point to growth zones. So you're going to think about a small goal, a win, some way to celebrate progress. So you're going to keep the data and then drop the unbroken narrative in this process. So find one thing that you can do, but also don't make it mean anything about you that is carried in shame or blame. Blame and shame are kind of in the same vein. So, oh wow, that kind of rhymes. Sorry. So, right, you're going to number 3, you're going to extract the lesson and ditch the shame. Keep the data, drop the unbroken narrative. All right. And then number 4, you're going to anchor it in radical self-trust. So once you build your unshakable core, or the core that is, you will be able to understand when something's coming at you that's true and when it's not, or when it's something you want to keep or let go. So here's some advice. Journal evidence. Find things of the past that are successful, replace old beliefs. Remind yourself when you hear something in your mind that is, I'm not enough. You're going to just replace it with something like, I trust my growth. Criticism isn't going to define me. It doesn't mean who I am as a person. It could mean there's something in action that you want to change, or you may not want to change, but maybe you do. And just give yourself some self-compassion during this time, because if you don't trust yourself, then of course you're going to react to whatever anyone else says. I'm going to tell you a story. There was a time, and I think I've talked about this in another episode, but I was talking to a group of women. I don't remember what we were talking about at this point, but we were all chit-chatting about doing something, and one of the ladies said, oh no, you and I, we just talk too much. We interrupt everybody too much. And I remember just being very offended at first, like, oh my goodness, I don't interrupt. But I realized when I got honest with myself and I got real, I was like, yeah, I kind of get excited when I talk to people and I interrupt with stories because I want to connect and I want to share that I understand. But the reality is there are times that I need to just shut up and listen. So what I realized after about 3 days of over-evaluating, over-criticizing myself for this, and being a little frustrated with her, I realized I do. I do sometimes interrupt people, and at times I need to not do that. I don't always have to share the story that comes up in my head because I naturally think in stories. I naturally think that way. But that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person because that's the way I communicate. But it does mean if I choose to be a person who is honoring other people when they're telling stories, and I want to give other people a platform to talk about themselves more, and I want to just be more polite. However you want to look at that, I have the choice to change that and make that better about me if I want to take that criticism and do something with it. But I don't have to feel shame about it. I don't have to make it mean that I'm a horrible person or a bad communicator or a bad friend. I can just do with it what I will to make it better. Really quick, I'll go back through the 4 ways you can turn your criticism into power for yourself. 1, take a pause and separate those facts from feelings. 2, vet the source and intent. Is this source a good source, and is the intent a good intent, or are they just being mean? Number 3, extract the lesson and ditch the shame. The lesson's important, the shame is not. The shame will keep you stuck if you allow it. So get rid of that shame and work on the lesson and do something with it if you will. And number 4, anchor in radical self-trust. And number 4, that anchor in radical self-trust, when you take notes, when you journal, when you see your own growth, when you start to trust yourself more and you start to become an expert at you no longer respond to other people's criticism of you because you're on top of it without them. All right, ladies, criticism does not have to steal your shine. If you allow it to, it can actually help you level up. So which of these 4 game changers are hitting home with you, or maybe you already use one of them? DM me, shoot a DM on HC Edwards Coaching on Instagram or Heather at hcedwardscoaching.com. Share your wins and let's look at setting you up for a discovery call if you are ready to bump your confidence up, if you are ready to level up and be a more confident, crazy, confident version of yourself. Let's get some coaching in. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a blast. I would love for you to do me a huge favor and either go leave a rating or a review. And if you really love the podcast or you've learned anything at all, please pass it on to a friend or a family member that might enjoy the podcast as well. That's how I grow, and that's how I'm able to continue bringing you content. If you are interested in coaching, just go to thecrazyconfidencecoach.com. You can sign up for a free discovery call there. Thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you next Tuesday so we can build our crazy confidence together. Love you big.